Just one day after President Donald Trump's inauguration, hundreds of thousands marched for social justice and for women.
I just can't even take what's going on, and it's just really incredible to see all these amazing people supporting this.
More than 600 marches took place across the United States and around the globe.
This is what democracy looks like.
The largest crowds in Washington, D.C., to tens of thousands descending on downtown Boston and packed streets of Los Angeles.
I just wanted to march for the women's future.
To right here in Sacramento.
We have not lost our ability to stand and march together, obviously.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Sharon Roget. An extraordinary response across the globe as thousands take to the streets in solidarity for women and human rights. Sacramento joined in with a strong effort of its own. Estimates of 15,000 to 20,000 people gathered at the Capitol today, filling the streets for the Women's March here. Young and old women and men packed the Capitol Mall. It was so packed at one point it was difficult for people to even get around. The numbers nearly doubling the amount of people expected to show up. While the march is officially over in Sacramento, take a look at these live pictures in San Francisco. San Francisco's march actually started a little later than other marches across the country, but you can see the sheer number of people out there right now with one message, and a message they're hoping will get to the White House. Here in Sacramento, crowds like I have never seen before. People marched this morning in an effort to get the attention of their government leaders, with women's rights and human rights at the forefront. CBS 13's Now Wynn reports on their reasons for marching.
The crowd was alive this morning at Southside Park.
Honestly, this is really a rally. It's a peaceful march rally.
Ready to send a message to their leaders.
The focus is women's rights and equality for all. The purpose is to get those folks, especially women who are afraid, who are fearful and in pain, give them a focus.
And to each other at the Women's March on Sacramento.
We're giving people an outlet to come out and get organized and get motivated to actually move our world forward.
Love, not hate. That's what makes America great.
Women.
Lots of issues, but mainly for me, I want to protect her future. That's the most important thing to me.
Men and children.
Well, I came out because I was scared and afraid after the big vote, and I wanted to show my daughter that she has a voice and that there are people that support her in this nation.
Whatever their reason, thousands made their way to the Capitol to show their solidarity.
I think we're going through a lot of change as a country, and it's really time for us to unite and stick together as a people.
And the power of their voices and numbers in affecting change.
If we come together, we can truly make a difference. That's what this is about.
Incredible to see. Buses shuttled people in from all over and as far as Los Angeles. And during the march, because of the sheer number of people trying to post on social media, there was major connectivity issues and delays with Twitter and Facebook.
I will stand up.
I will stand up.
I will step out.
I will step up.
And speak out every day.
And speak out every day.
For human rights for all.
For human rights for all.
Now, this morning's march culminated at noon at the rally at the Capitol. There's speakers there. They called on everyone to take oaths, just like their leaders, to do good by their community. Dozens of officials and dignitaries were present, including Mayor Darrell Steinberg, who addressed the crowd first. Take a listen.
We will not be naive about the challenges ahead, but we will also use this temporary setback as a rallying cry to dramatically up our commitments to each other and to our values.
Mayor Steinberg finished by urging marchers to continue to organize in the face of despair. While dubbed the Women's March, women and women's issues were hardly the only reason people showed up for today's event. CBS 13's Elisa Becerra joins us live from the state capitol with the other marchers who swelled the ranks. Elisa.
Yeah, that's right. And I just want to show you a quick picture right now. You can see that this event here is over and they're breaking down right now. But you mentioned all those numbers, and the people that we spoke with said that they're taking home more today than they came with.
I'm crying all day at the amount of support from everyone.
Liz Maloney says while the Women's March is by all intent and purpose to express the importance of women's rights right now, it has invoked a binding element across the board for LGBTQIA.
Because I don't identify as a woman, so for me, like, being looked down upon for that, like, I don't think that anyone should feel that way or have to feel that way, and everyone should be supported and everyone should have the things that they need.
For immigrants and people of color.
I've seen Muslims, I've seen Christians, I don't even know most of these people. I don't even know their ethnic background, but they're together and they were chanting, si se puede, yes we can.
For health and education.
I'm studying science and all these things, but I don't know, just seeing that society maybe didn't necessarily listen to me or view me and my needs or in the people that I know as something that was valid.
There is fear and anger in this country over a perceived threat to those rights looming from the Trump administration.
So hard to put into words how angry and frustrated I feel. And one of the quotes from one of the speakers today talked about we're not going back, and that's why I feel like I need to be here.
But calls to action like this bring hope.
Made me feel very safe to be of color and in Sacramento.
Gives you hope?
A lot of hope. A lot of hope.
Yeah, and he wasn't the only person that I heard that from. That seemed to resonate from everyone that I spoke with. Definitely saying many of them were surprised at just the kind of unity that they felt here and at least felt that their voices were being heard, at least for today. I expect you'll probably see more of this in the future to come. Back to you.
Lisa, thank you so much. We certainly saw that unity across the country. Protesters rallied worldwide to stand with women in the U.S. Here's a look at the Women's March in Paris. Yeah, demonstrators were seen holding signs denouncing Trump and chanting solidarity. And thousands of protesters filled the streets of London today, standing with women worldwide. Demonstrators were heard chanting, "Donald Trump has got to go." Women gathered in Berlin, Germany, as well, holding signs against President Trump. People came out from all across the country. Some estimates indicate the Women's March in Washington, D.C. outdrew the crowd for President Donald Trump's inauguration yesterday. Jamie Yukas has more on the message marchers had for the president.
A sea of protesters in pink hats and signs with creative slogans supporting women's issues filled streets in the nation's capital.
What's the most important message today?
I think it's that love trumps hate. I think it's that we are better unified than we are divided.
Others used the opportunity to criticize President Donald Trump a day after he was sworn into office.
I think it's bringing awareness. It's showing that, hey, remember Trump, you just said that you care about everybody and that, all of our rights are important. So now put your money where your mouth is.
Huge crowds also turned out in other cities like Atlanta, Boston, and New York. The march in Chicago was canceled by organizers when crowds swelled from their original projections of 22,000 to more than 150,000 participants.
Here in Washington, D.C., organizers had requested a permit for 200,000. In the end, many say close to 500,000 people showed up to march.
Speakers and entertainers got the crowd fired up before their march down Constitution Avenue.
We want the best for all Americans. No hate, no bigotry, no Muslim registry.
Hillary Clinton tweeted her support. Thanks for standing, speaking, and marching for our values at Women's March. Important as ever, I truly believe we're always stronger together. People in the crowd hope today starts a movement of having their voices heard.
Now, according to USA Today, a D.C. official said given today's turnout, the Women's March is likely to take its place among historic demonstrations, including the 1963 civil rights demonstrations and the Vietnam War protests of 1967. President Trump has been silent about the marches today, not tweeting anything related to the events. And President Trump visited the CIA during his first full day on the job. He started his day at the National Cathedral for an interfaith service, then received a briefing by CIA senior staff at its headquarters. The president had often criticized the U.S. intelligence community in the past, but after their meeting, he had nothing but praise.
I love you. I respect you. There's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job. And we're going to start winning again, and you're going to be leading the charge.
Trump is set to host United Kingdom prime ministers. There's a meeting next week to talk about a post-Brexit deal. She'll be on one of the first foreign leaders to meet with the president. New at 5 tonight, the family of a Bay Area woman missing and presumed drowned in waters off of Ileton Road finally were able to recover her body this morning. Nichelle Johnson's car skidded off of Highway 160 Sunday night and into the river. The family has been demanding that her body be pulled sooner, but security concerns delayed rescue efforts. CBS 13's Ansar Hassan is live at the scene with the very latest on the recovery efforts today.
Sharon, rescue crews were finally able to pull Nichelle Johnson's body out of the Sacramento River here this morning in Ileton. It's been a whole week, though, since her body's been submerged underwater. Now, the family's relieved that the body was finally pulled out, but they have been outraged that authorities didn't act sooner. Let's show you some video from this morning. A group of volunteer rescue divers were finally able to go into the river and pull Miss Johnson's body to shore. Now, officials say the 48-year-old Johnson skidded off of Highway 160 on Sunday night. Johnson, who lives in the Bay Area, was headed to Sacramento to visit her sister, but the family had to wait until today to get her body out.
But for her to be sitting out here in this water for the last 6 days, and don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the effort that they're putting together right now and retrieving her right now. I just wish they would have tried to do something a little bit faster.
Johnson's car was located using sonar. The CHP says Sunday night's bad weather created unsafe conditions for drivers to go in. They also didn't have enough drivers to complete the task, and then this weekend's rain added to more delays. Now the CHP will continue their investigation. They're hoping an autopsy will help them determine what may have caused Ms. Johnson to lose control of the car. Sharon, back to you.
Tough time for that family. Ansar, thank you so much. New at 5 tonight, the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department is investigating a body found in a burning car in Antelope. Sac Metro Fire responded to reports of a vehicle on fire at Blue Oak Park just before 3 a.m. After the fire was extinguished, they found a dead body inside. There was evidence of an accelerant. The Sheriff's Department says the death is suspicious. Still to come here at 5, despite record rain and snowfall. Recently, state regulators still want to impose drought restrictions, while local agencies are telling the state to back down. And a levee break in Hollister doubles in size, leaving the rural community underwater. Why the county says they just can't repair it.
And we have another storm on the way. After this one, we finally get a break. But if you have some of those pets that don't like the wind and it scares them, unfortunately, they're going to have to deal with that again. If you're looking for a pet, this is Zoe up for adoption at the Sacramento SPCA. She's a female terrier, American Staffordshire boxer mix. By the way, next Thursday, their Yappy Hour at Bike Dog Brewing, 6 to 8 p.m. Every dollar from a beer goes to the SPCA. We'll take a look at that forecast because it's finally dry. Coming up next.
San Benito County has issued mandatory evacuations after a levee break in Hollister has doubled in size. Floodwaters have covered farmland, roads, and properties, leading both residents and their livestock no choice but to seek higher ground. The break formed last week but has not been touched because the levee is on private property. The county is facing financial issues as well.
The levee has not been fixed because we don't have the financial resources or the assistance from the state of California to do that.
They're hoping Governor Brown declares a state of emergency to free up funds from the state and the federal government. Let's get to our forecast because it was incredible. All these people at the Capitol today for this march did not have to deal with rain this morning, Lisa.
Right. You know, I had a lot of people asking me about that. And about midday or even the morning hours, it looked like that was going to be our best chance of seeing a dry period.
Right.
And maybe dry now, but we have our next storm system moving in. Now, this is the last one. After this, we're going to get a break for a couple of days, but we have to get past this one. Okay. Want to see some pictures that are out of this world, Sharon?
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's take a look at this. NASA has released this breathtaking video showing what looks like approaching Pluto. It's actually made up of more than 100 high-resolution images taken by NASA's New Horizons spacecraft. The images were taken over 6 months as a spacecraft flew by Pluto in 2015. It took New Horizons nearly 10 years and 3 billion miles to get there. Wow, that's a little bit of time, isn't it? Let's take a live look outside. We're looking at our Park Tower sky cam. Look at that, a lot of movement. We're still dealing with some wind here. That flag is whipping around out there, and winds are only going to get stronger over the next 24 hours. Lots of weather to talk about. Let's get right to it. Looking at our radar and satellite picture, we're waiting for our next weather system to push in across the Pacific Northwest. It's going to bring rain, it's going to bring wind, and it's going to bring more snow. Current radar loop does start to show some rain making its way toward the coast, so you may be dry at this time in Sacramento, but just off to the west, we are seeing those showers, and they will continue to push in, increasing our rain chances overnight and going into tomorrow. Now, with the accumulating snowfall in the forecast, once again, we do have a winter storm warning in effect for the Sierra. That goes until 4 a.m. Other thing we're watching, wind advisory. That will go into effect tonight. That goes until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So strong winds once again coming up here tonight, early morning hours tomorrow. And because we are anticipating more rain for the Yolo bypass, we do have a flood warning that will be going into effect, and that goes until 10 p.m. on Wednesday. So here are the storm details here. With this next system through early Tuesday, valley rain 1 to 2 inches, 2 to 5 for the foothills. When it comes to Sierra snow at 4,000 feet, we're looking at 2 to 4 feet of snow. When it comes to 3,000 feet, up to 1 foot. And then for those higher, very high elevations, we're looking at about 6 feet of snow. Not only that, the strong winds, wind gusts up to maybe even close to 60 miles per hour at times. So we are dealing with some strong winds once again with this system. Again, that'll start to kick up tonight, especially early morning hours tomorrow. Here's Futurecast. Let's take you into the 8 p.m. hour. That's when we really start to see more rain scattered across the valley. Sierra snowfall once again continuing for late tonight and into tomorrow morning. We may start to get a little bit of a break Sunday, but I don't think it's going to stick around for long. We keep with rain showers in the valley, snow for the Sierra. This is going into Sunday night, still looking at more showers across the area and snow showers. We continue this activity into Monday. Monday still looking at a chance of rain, and then finally starting to see a little bit of a break by the time we go into next week. But not the case for tonight. Tonight anticipating some showers, even some thunderstorms, temperatures in the valley down to the upper 40s, back to the mid 50s. Let's take you to Sacramento. Sacramento, you're looking at a low of 47 tonight before climbing back up to 53. For the foothills, those temperatures down to the 40s and then back just into the upper 40s for tomorrow. Got to jump to that 7-day forecast for you. Here's what we're tracking here. Windy and also rainy, isolated storms possible Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, some AM rain kind of lingering around here for the morning hours, quickly drying out. And then we finally dry out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but a couple of foggy days Wednesday through Friday.
It surely has been a wet January.
Ooh, a wet season. There you go.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much. Well, despite record-setting rain and snowfall, state water regulators say they may continue their drought restrictions. Local water agencies say it makes no sense and demand the state back down. So why are water officials still talking about conservation in the rain? CBS 13's Lamore Abrams is getting answers.
The generous drenching of 2017 could put California on track for the wettest year ever. But behind closed doors, the people in charge of the state's water say the drought and conservation rules are here to stay.
We know that some areas are still in dire straits, and we know that the skies could dry up.
Felicia Marcus is the chair of the state's water board. The agency suggesting water agencies statewide stick to water restrictions until the end of the rainy season, when official snowpack numbers tell us how much water we have for use and storage.
Conservation is one important action.
Local water districts are making their case against tough restrictions as they experience record water levels and exceed demands.
There's only a couple of pockets of California that are really left in an emergency drought situation, so we really feel that the state should be focusing on those areas.
The State Water Board allowed many districts to go from emergency to voluntary restrictions last year when they reported major savings. According to state statistics, in the last year and a half, California has saved enough water to serve more than 30% of the state's population. David Boland, who represents all water agencies, says the numbers prove drought-type restrictions should expire for good.
The time for calling for a crisis-type approach, maybe the bucket in the shower or letting the geraniums die or letting your lawn be brown this coming summer.
Conservation in California. It could just be a way of life if the water board has its way.
Conservation in California means not taking water for granted.
And officials will vote on whether to relax restrictions next month and will then send a report to the governor. Coming up, Sacramento River Cats are hiring the 400 positions they're looking to fill, and how soon. Plus, giant twin panda babies, 20 of them. A look at where in the world they were born. That's next. The Sacramento River Cats are hiring seasonal and part-time positions for the 2017 season. They held a job fair this morning at Rayleigh Field, and there aren't any positions available in their starting lineup, but they do have over 400 other spots that need to be filled.
Everything from suite attendants to concessions attendants, parking cashiers, to groundskeepers. So lots of opportunities available.
What a fun place to work. You must be at least 18 years old to apply. 21 for jobs involving alcohol. A full list of available positions is available at rivercats.com. Dozens of people came together this weekend at Great Escape Games in Sacramento for the Toy Game and Pop Culture Expo. This expo puts together fans with more than 40 vendors and local artists under one roof. Vendors have their unique collections on display and for sale.
My favorite part about it is just seeing everybody come together, seeing all the different fandoms, people from different, have different stuff. Like I said, we got the games, we got people, selling all sorts of things, all kind of blending together for one event.
The expo goes until 6 o'clock tonight at Great Escape Games on Howe Avenue. Admission is free. Still to come, you don't want to miss this because it's so cute. The more giant panda cubs, the merrier. A look at where in the world 10 pairs of twin panda cubs were born. Finally tonight, we wanted to leave you with something fun and cute, and you can never have too many panda cubs, or can you?
No.
A research base of giant panda breeding in Southwest China doesn't seem to think so. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Yes,
wow.
We're talking about 10 pairs of twin giant panda cubs. In the wild, panda twins have only a 50% survival rate because the mama panda often chooses to raise only one of her cubs. But in captivity, researchers make the mother breastfeed both her cubs in turns. They're so cute right now, and then they get so huge and massive, but that is adorable. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5 o'clock. We will see you back here at 10. Have a great night.